Partners of sleep talkers or sleepwalkers, what gems have you to share? My wife will tell me the next day when I do this. Her favorite story to tell is that she woke up in the middle of the night to find me slowly walking out of our bedroom. Monsieur. Wife. Are you okay? What are you doing? Quote. Me. There's somebody downstairs in the kitchen. Unrolling the tinfoil. Wife. Okay. What's your plan? Quote. Me. I'm going to stop them. Wife. Shall we get a bit more sleep then both go down together? Quote. Me. Okay. And I went back to bed. Subsequent investigations found a small plastic bag on the floor near my head, being rustled by the movement of the curtain. The window being open. My girl woke up one night and said, "Did you find your rocks?" And I asked her what she was talking about, and she said, "I don't know. I'm just trying to make conversation," and promptly went back to sleep. She has no recollection of this. Sigh. My boyfriend either recites postcodes, delivery driver, or calls the dog in his sleep. So either he is mad no one is responding to his postcode nonsense, or I get a flying 30 kilograms dog to my body. He farted very loudly and proceeded to say, "You got the wrong guy." My boyfriend woke me up the other day by gently putting his fingers in my mouth, and I kept moving my head out of the way until eventually I was like, "Can you stop that?" Quote. He then sounded genuinely upset and asked why I woke him up, as he was having a really nice dream about feeding a deer. Brilliant. One night, my boyfriend woke me up in the middle of the night, tapping me on my shoulder. He put his finger on his mouth, whispered, "Shush" to me, then pointed at the door and told me, "I can hear something. Don't move." Predictably, I nearly shit my pants. All the worst possible scenarios crossed my mind, and the moment of silence after he shushed me felt like hours. Then, he started waving his hands and talking about Tetris, the twirlies, IDK, and making sure we don't align. And that's how I learned my boyfriend talks in his sleep. My aunt likes to tell the story about her and my cousin sharing a hotel room one time. My aunt woke up having to pee, and found my cousin sitting up in bed with her arms folded across her abdomen, kind of rocking back and forth and giggling quietly. When my aunt asked her what she was doing, my cousin said, "I'm holding a baby and it has an adult smile." Quote. I found this story deeply unsettling. Heck yes. Please take a seat. My wife was an avid sleep talk for a long time, and her midnight announcements range from simple single words to elaborate speeches. The ones that really stand out to me are waking up in the middle of the night to her suddenly sitting violently up in bed, throwing back the covers, and screaming, "Tarantula." Quote. That will make you very awake, very quickly, whispering my name repeatedly, which woke me up so she could share in a hushed, cautious voice, "There is an alligator in here." When I expressed my concern, playing along, she told me, still whispering, that it's okay. It has been here before. But my all-time favorite was when, from her perspective, as she later explained, she was dreaming that I was playfully sneaking up on her and she saw me and was calling me on it. From my perspective, my wife sat up in the middle of the night, starting into the darkest corner of the room, and said repeatedly in a soft sing-song voice, "I see you." My flipping blood froze. TLDR. My wife is terrifying. Edit 1. Thanks for the awards. I am glad this has managed to make some people laugh, cry at work. Fantastic sleep songs with lyrics which are utterly bizarre. My two absolute favorites have been 1. Oh whoa whoa, it's a corner cat. 2. Obey my rules, and you'll always be a country cowboy, repeated about 5 times and finished with a yeah. My missus called me a wriggly little enzyme while she was sleeping. I've never ever heard her use that word before. My wife was mumbling a lot and suddenly shouted, asterisk asterisk donkey kick, asterisk asterisk, as she kicked me in my shin. So that was fun. My wife started screaming one night that she was lost in the local grocery store. and that no matter where she went she couldn't find her way out. I asked her, has she tried checking out at the cash registers? She then looked at me and said in her most sincere voice, "That's why you are the smartest person I know." And she rolled over and fell back asleep. My dad just screams "Heeeeeeee" a lot. Ex-roommate talked in his sleep. Once, he cried out, "No, Gandalf." Quote, I have had funnier experiences than this one, but cannot remember exactly what was said. Most recently, though, my boyfriend scoots over to me to big spoon, little spoon, and I snuggle in, thinking that's all it was. Then he gets real close to my ear and whispers, "Just so you know, there's something in the closet." Like a cartoon turtle. I did my best not to bust out laughing and just said, "Okay, honey." When he woke up, he had no memory of it whatsoever. Of course, removed. I'm the sleep talker here. Got this from my wife the next morning. Me. Sits bolt upright, they're coming. Everything's ready. Wife. Sleepily, huh? Me. They're coming. Everything's ready. Wife. They're coming? Me. Monsieur. Wife. But everything's ready? Me. Yes. Wife. Sounds like we're okay then. Me. Comically flops back down and instantly goes back to sleep. Edit. Formatting. My grandfather was a hard sleep talker. My grandmother has a funny story. One day my grandfather while sleeping was saying, "Do I punch this asshole?" My grandmother replayed, "Yeah, punch him." Then my grandfather in his sleep punched her. He got up, went into the kitchen and ate one bite of a mini pecan pie. No fork. Just a straight bite. Then apparently remembered he hates pecan pie and left it stacked neatly on the little box. Another time he sat up and stared straight ahead at the wall. Didn't respond to me asking what was wrong. He stood up, walked into the wall, then stood there like he was contemplating the barrier. He just backed up exactly as he came, sat down and swung back into bed like nothing happened. That was creepy. My mom sleepwalks sometimes. When she was in the middle of her residency, she came into my room in the middle of the night and sharply asked, "Did you give patient her dose of medication like I asked you to 15 minutes ago?" Quote, I groggily replied, "Who? Wha?" Quote, she just huffed and said, "Well, I guess that answers my question," before turning around and leaving, without closing the door of course. She didn't remember a thing about it the next morning.